There is a video y'all put in here called Garrosh Did Nothing Wrong. You wanted me to watch? I doubt that's true. But if you want me to watch it, sure. Sure, I can take a look. I'm pretty sure he did do some stuff that was not great. But I'm expecting this to be a meme. But we'll see. Okay.
Now, the title of this video may come as
This is from hirumaredx.
a surprise to some of you, and
Right.
you probably clicked on it to see how it's possible to argue that Garrosh, an end boss to an expansion, could do no wrong.
Right.
Well, obviously he might have done a few bad things, but there are pretty good reasons for it all, and that's what I'll be explaining.
Wait, so if you have a good reason for doing something, then it's not wrong. Okay, I didn't know that. Wow, that's great. That's great news. That's going to make life a lot easier for me.
Garrosh was introduced in the Burning Crusade as a brooding orc in the Grant.
Okay, cool.
Garrosh knows that it was his father that drank the demon blood first and doomed his race to the fate they had now.
His dad, Grom, was the first one who drank the blood of Manaroth.
He lived most
That's what he's and I like the cinematic where he's like, give it to me.
first and doomed his race to the
Yeah,
fate they
give
had
it to
now.
me. I'll drink it. Oh, I bet it tastes good. Watch me do it. Don't tell me I shouldn't.
He lived most of his life thinking his father was a big screw-up, and in the family-centric culture that the orcs have, was a thing to legitimately be ashamed of.
Yeah, because his dad doomed them by binding them to the Burning Legion with this terrible decision that he made. So it was really cringe that his dad decided to do that.
Garrosh was ashamed and afraid of his legacy.
Right.
Until one day, Thrall shows up and is all like, "Yeah, dog, your father was actually the savior of the orcs, not the cause of their downfall. Come
What?
join my army and embrace the Hellscream name." And Garrosh does. For the first time in his life,
yeah.
he's proud of what his father is, and what he did. And he wants to be just as good, if not better than his father. Of course, Thrall totally whitewashed the history of the Horde, but he was just trying to cheer him up. This will be the first of many mistakes Thrall made, which led to Garrosh's death. Now, Garrosh is a part of the Horde, and even becomes a general.
Okay, you kind of skipped over the reason why that was a convincing argument for Garrosh. Because Thrall was like, you know, that really epic thing that Grom did that won everybody over, and that was his redemption, was that he defeated Manaroth. And he gave his life in the process. And he saved Thrall's life in the process. So he redeemed himself through that act in a lot of people's eyes. And then he ended up having an honorable legacy for that sacrifice that he made. And so when Garrosh heard about that, he was like, damn, I guess he wasn't so bad. I guess I can be proud of this family name that I had. You can't skip over that. That's important. But okay.
What he did. And he wants to be just as good, if not better than his father. Of course, Thrall totally whitewashed the history of the Horde, but he was just trying to cheer him up. This will be the first
I mean,
of
that's fair.
many mistakes Thrall made, which led to Garrosh's death. Now, Garrosh is a part of the Horde, and even becomes a general and leads the Warsong clan in battles against the Alliance.
Okay.
Now, let me take a moment to explain Orcish culture a little bit. All the clans compete against each other for territory and dominance. They have a very warlike culture, and never united because they were too busy fighting each other.
Yeah, I played
All of a
WoD.
sudden, the demons intervene and all the orc clans unite. With them not infighting anymore, they have to compete against something, and that's how the Warcraft story started, with Kil'jaeden taking advantage of Orcish culture to wipe out the Draenei. Now, back to Garrosh. Garrosh has an enemy to fight, the Alliance and the Lich King. When you do quests for Garrosh in the Boron Tundra, Hellscream sends you out to fight both, and you help him secure a foothold to eventually fight the Lich King, the big man himself who ravished the human
he
kingdoms
did the thing to get the thing to redeem the thing or something.
What?
IDKI didn't read WoW lore.
That's why
I
we're
just played a hot blood elf paladin and called it a day.
That's why I'm telling you what he did. Frozen Solid, thank you for the 55-month resub. I just told you that it was cool that he. Don't you think it's badass that Grom Hellscream defeated Manaroth by throwing the axe into his heart, and then it exploded with fell energy and it killed him in the process, and Thrall barely dodged out the way. That's cool.
Destroyed the High Elves. And by some miracle, he was successful. He was front and center when Arthas fell. Hellscream is the one who gives you the buff in ICC to make the instance easier. Garrosh is seen as a hero to the Horde, especially the young orcs. He's also in the presence of Thrall, who takes him with him to important meetings, as you can see in the Old War intro cinematic. Garrosh
Is that Jaina? Oh my god, it is. Wow. That's Jaina.
has proven himself in a pretty short amount of time as someone worthy of his legacy, and even comes to see Thrall as a sort of father figure. Then the Cataclysm happens.
People really were like, she's so hot. People really were. I remember.
Proven himself in a pretty short amount of time as someone worthy of his legacy, and even comes to see Thrall as a sort of father figure. Then the Cataclysm happens.
Man, I'm so pissed off about that. This was my favorite village in the entire game. Aberdeen got totally destroyed from this bullshit, and then later on it got destroyed again, even harder. And now we have Lordanelle, which is nowhere near as cool or as good vibes as Aberdeen. And I still can't go back to either Teldrassil or Aberdeen, my two favorite places in the whole damn game.
Happens. Orgrimmar is pretty banged up from what Deathwing did, and Thrall wants to take off and become Jesus. He decides to put Hellscream in charge because he is well loved by the orcs. But Hellscream tells Thrall, "No way, dude, I'm a fighter, not a diplomat. This is a bad idea." And Thrall was like, "Well, too bad, dude, I'm doing it anyway, lol." And thrust the title of Warchief on an unwilling Garrosh when the Horde was in the middle of a crisis. So, what does an orcish war hero do when put in charge of the Horde? Well, he runs it like an orc from Draenor would run things. Identifying the enemy, and do everything in your power to crush your opponent. The Horde is low on supplies since they spent all their money on repairs for Orgrimmar.
No, he was an idiot. He was straight up stupid. He did not do a good job of identifying who the enemy is. If he's telling all the Blood Elves to get out, like, that's some of your most powerful soldiers. That's just so cringe and stupid.
And since they live in the middle of a desert, natural resources are scarce. The Night Elves cut off trade with the Horde in Ashenvale when the whole Wrathgate fiasco happened. No longer trusting the Horde. So what does Garrosh do? He invades Ashenvale for the natural resources, of course.
I can't believe this worked.
That or let his people die in the streets of starvation. So the Druids of Ashenvale hold a meeting to maybe let the Horde trade with them again to stop the invasion when they are ambushed at their meeting. One of the Tauren Archdruids in the meeting saw that one of the ambushers was an orc, and told Karni. Karni then thought it was Garrosh who was responsible.
Karni?
Since none of the other racial leaders cared very much for Garrosh at the time. So he challenges Garrosh to a duel, and Garrosh accepts.
Karni Asada. Is he trolling?
Even though he had nothing to do with the ambush, and he thinks Karni just doesn't like the way he's running things.
No.
During the duel, Garrosh kills Karni by accident because Magatha Grim Totem poisoned his weapon before the fight without his knowledge. Turns out, the orc that ambushed the Druids was part of the Twilight Hammer cult, and had nothing to do with Garrosh. But, of course, both of these instances still leave a sour taste in the mouth of people for Garrosh, even though he wasn't really responsible for either. Vol'jin, the person Thrall told Garrosh to turn to if he ever needed advice, basically insults him and threatens to kill Garrosh. Sylvanas is creating a new plague, just like the one that was used at the Wrathgate, and is killing people intentionally to raise them again as undead. Garrosh goes over there to tell her to cut that shit out, because she's behaving no differently than the Lich King.
That isn't what he said. Didn't they have to patch out what he said because it was so rude? I'm pretty sure that he was pretty rude to Sylvanas at this moment.
Of course, Sylvanas ignored him and does.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said something that they had to patch out.
It anyway, and then asked for orcish help when things turn sour for her while invading Gilneas. So, what does all this teach?
This is a propaganda video for Garrosh.
Teach Garrosh? Well, the other races of the Horde don't understand what he's doing. He's running the Horde like an orc would, like his father, who he idolized more than anyone would. And he is getting nothing but shit from everyone in return.
Okay. Okay. His dad only got up because he drank demon blood. Garrosh doesn't have an excuse for being an idiot. Okay. Even Grom, who drank demon blood, still found a way to make a good choice at the end. A selfless choice, which you skipped over here. And Garrosh, at no point did he do that. When did he make a selfless decision? Okay, he doesn't have any excuse for being as stupid as he is. And I just don't know. You're like, oh, he had to invade Ashenvale and kill all those people because otherwise those people would starve. What the f*** are you talking about?
When one of his own men kill a village of peaceful druids, he personally comes to the location and kills the commander in charge.
Okay, but you know what? This specific quest that you're talking about was actually the writers came out and said that there was a miscommunication and that this was not agreed upon canon. His decision to do that is actually not canon because there was a miscommunication in the writing team. So they the one time that he did something that might have been maybe evidence of him having any kind of sense of justice, the writing team came out and said that it was an accident. It wasn't intended. So, yeah.
Because there's no honor in killing people who aren't even fighting.
He didn't have honor. That was the point.
Philosophy is about finding an opponent and defeating them by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Not killing peaceful villages for no reason.
Sorry, but that's just not true. That's the headcanon that whoever wrote this quest had, but they were not on the same page as everyone else on team.
So Garrosh continues his campaign.
It's actually true. Yeah, I can confirm. The Stone Talon quest is not canon. I'll try to find the Blizzard source for this. I mean, I found another person citing this. I'm gonna find it. Okay, this is gonna take me longer than I thought to find, but I can, like, I know for a fact that I have looked this up before, and it's pretty well known that in Stone Talon, Garrosh was utterly disgusted with Overlord Cromgar killing civilians, innocents, and children, but actually, it was a miscommunication error on Blizzard's part that somehow made it to life. That was not ever intended to be there because the idea for the character is that he had no idea of honor. He had no sense of justice. He was just an unrepentant asshole. Okay, so it's a very bad example.
Campaign against
That's
the
all I'm
Alliance.
trying to say.
He's been at war with the Alliance since he's joined the Horde. Why would he stop fighting them now when they are being openly hostile towards him? So, he decides to take out the Alliance foothold right in his front yard.
Oh, yeah.
People may question Garrosh for blowing up the entire city, but
Oh, yeah.
they were at war. It's not like
Oh, yeah. Didn't he nuke Theramore as well? He also nuked Theramore. But they were at war, he says.
he just flew over Theramore one day and dropped the nuke.
But it was war. Okay. Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
No, they had been fighting for weeks.
It's gotta
if
be a
not months
meme.
before that.
It's
Then
gotta
the
be a
hidden
meme.
continent of Pandaria was discovered.
Oh yeah,
A
Pandaria.
giant, brand new land filled with natural resources. Of course he's going to want to get his hands on it. The Alliance do the same thing as well. While there, he also finds all kinds of artifacts, powerful ones that could boost the power of the Horde. He'd be stupid not to try and put them to good use.
Turns out the Pandaren have a lot of really cool shit, and he'd be stupid not to take it for himself and use it however he wanted to. I mean, that's just common sense. They don't need it.
After finding the heart of Yasharaj, Garrosh finally has enough power to accomplish the goal of the Horde. To take out the Alliance and control the world, united under one leader.
Finally, with the power of an old god, he finally has the power he needs to do what's right.
This is a goal even Rathion wanted as well.
Okay.
Since he knew the world would be better off if the two factions stopped fighting.
Did anything bad happen from this decision? Oh, what's this cutscene that you're
The
showing?
only way that would ever happen is if one of them took over the other. So Garrosh takes all of his new wonders from Pandaria back to Orgrimmar to prepare for
Oh yeah, he didn't destroy the zone or anything.
the coming war. It's then that the other races
He's
of the
destroying their whole fucking zone.
Horde rebel. Doesn't matter, he doesn't need them anyway. They've been nothing but a dick to Garrosh the whole time he's been Warchief. But then Thrall himself
This is a meme. Okay, this is 100% a meme.
joins the fray. Goes to Orgrimmar, not to reason with Garrosh, the person he put in charge of the Horde, even though Garrosh himself told Thrall it was a bad idea, but goes to Orgrimmar to kill Garrosh himself. Garrosh defeats his old mentor. He's in too deep now, and has the power of an old god. Of course he wins. He doesn't kill Thrall though, because even though Thrall betrayed him, he still sees him as a kind of father figure. Then after the combined might of the Horde Rebellion and the Alliance finally take down Garrosh, Thrall is all too eager to kick him while he's down. But the Alliance king of all people stops him, and proposes a trial for Garrosh instead. And of course Garrosh gets lampooned at his trial. Anyone on the losing side of a conflict is going to come out of it looking like a bad person. But despite all he did during his reign as the Warchief, the Celestials, ancients who have lived thousands of years, and are thought of as pinnacles of wisdom and intelligence by the Pandaren, think Garrosh deserves to live and spare his life at the trial. The Celestials themselves think it wasn't completely Garrosh's fault.
All this stuff that happened with the trial was in a book, I recall. So most people, they don't even know about this shit.
It's then that the Bronze Dragon Trader and Rathion break Garrosh out of the courtroom and take him to an alternate Draenor to build an army to stop the Legion. But Garrosh has different plans. He wants to meet his own father himself, since he probably won't get a chance like this ever again. He meets up with his dad, in disguise, and is able to convince him to never drink the demon blood, saving the orcs from demonic influence. But meanwhile, on Azeroth, Thrall was not happy about Garrosh escaping.
I mean, we managed to get Maghar orcs out of it, so
When
it's...
the Iron Horde comes through the portal to invade the Blasted Lands, Thrall seizes as a chance to finally kill Garrosh. Thrall tracks down Garrosh into Grand and challenges him to Mak'gora. What's the first thing Thrall says to Garrosh if they're about to fight? You must answer for your crimes.
Oh yeah!
Totally ignoring the fact that Celestials themselves, beacons of wisdom who have lived tens of thousands of years, said, dude, Garrosh isn't completely to blame. No, Thrall is out for blood. And Garrosh is rightfully pissed and attacks. Now, Garrosh was a pretty damn good fighter. But so is Thrall, who was raised as a warrior and became a shaman later on in life. They're pretty evenly matched, so neither side really knows who's going to win. Garrosh tells Thrall, all I did for the Horde. Because that's exactly what he did.
Man, look, the Horde needs some, like, good stories going forward. Okay, like, the Horde has just been getting L after L for years at this point. Y'all need to have some kind of heroes that are cool and, like, make good choices and are, like... I mean, you have Thrall, which he's back, and that's awesome. But Horde was really sidelined for this expansion, too. And, I feel like every time a Horde leader is in the limelight, it's really cringe. So, yeah, maybe Bane stuff would be a good direction to take. Yeah.
Thrall to get mad at him
Yeah.
for doing what he thought was in the best
It
interest
was
of the
just
Horde. Thrall spits on this idea and tells him, no, you failed the Horde. Garrosh, while beating Thrall's smug face in, tells him, you're the one who put me in charge. You left me to pick up your pieces. If anything, you failed me.
Oh my god, this is so
This
cringe.
is where Thrall cheats.
It
He
was
thinks
so
he's in the
cringe.
right. He thinks Garrosh was alone responsible for crumbling the Horde. And in a duel where the rules are as follows, each participant is allowed to use one weapon. Body armor is forbidden. Each participant needs at least one witness. Thrall not only has full body armor, but uses 5 weapons. His hammer, fire, wind, earth, and nature magic. Garrosh
Those aren't weapons, that's magic. It
only
doesn't
had all
have.
his hands on one weapon, like you're supposed to have. Then, as Garrosh is about to die, being killed by the man who both set him on a path to glory and set him on his own downfall, his last words are to tell Thrall exactly this: you made me what I am. And Thrall denies any part or blame for his actions.
Yeah, because it's not his fault at all. Oh my god. This was.
And that's the end of the video. Was I able to convince you that Garrosh did nothing
No,
wrong?
dude!
At the very least, do you see Garrosh in a more positive light?
No! Not
If
at
so,
all!
That's propaganda working at its finest. Everything sounds better if you only tell the good parts of the story, and either ignore or leave out the negatives.
There you go, there you go. At the end, he's like, well, that's what happens when you listen to propaganda. Well, you didn't get me, buddy. All right? Because I have been on the internet long enough to use the critical thinking skills when I'm listening to the bullshit people say. Oh my god. Here's the problem, though. Okay? I realize you made the video as a meme and to show people, well, look what happens when you only tell the good parts. I get that. But you realize that many people watch it and they like this take. They like the contrarian take. And so they use it as actual evidence for a pretty flawed perspective. You know? And that's, if you look at the comments, that's what it shows. People who miss the point entirely. He's still my war chief. He died like a true warrior. Wow. The only competent war chief the new horde had. What the are you talking about? Finally, been saying this for ages. Plus, people completely missed the point from the meme video. So, see, you're convinced now? Zepla is a true hater. I'm an Alliance Night Elf player. Do you think I'm gonna come around to liking Garrosh? No! Absolutely not. After what's happened to Ashenvale, what's happened to all of the Night Elf territory that has been totally wrecked by this bullshit. Yeah. I don't even like his dad. I don't like Grom either. Didn't they kill Cenarius? So, all those people. Really. Yeah. I'm here for... I'm ready for the Night Elf Paladins. It should have happened a long time ago. Yes, I totally agree. Paladin's job is to kill undead and evil forces, right? Support women's rights and wrongs. Love Sylvanas. What the f is that? What? No. No. Sylvanas burnt my tree. No.